Well, welcome everyone to the University of Denver Virtual Open House. We are so excited that you're joining us this evening. Before we start with our presentation, there are just a few items I wanted to cover. First, closed captioning is available at the bottom of your screen, and we will be using the Q&A feature to be able to answer your questions throughout the presentation. And I'm excited now to introduce Dr. White, Associate Dean of Students, to be able to talk about all of our success programs that we offer here at DU. Dr. White.
Thank you, Shana. Thank you. It's exciting to be here tonight. I'm going to go ahead and share our PowerPoint. And we have a team of folks here today who are here to talk to you about student inclusion and belonging, really how we create a campus where our students feel like they belong and feel included. Again, my name is Dr. Tamara White. I'm Associate Dean of Students, and I am two-time alum at DU. I got my undergraduate here as well as my doctorate degree. Tonight, as I said, we're going to introduce student inclusion and belonging. We're also going to talk about the Cultural Center, First at DU, social justice education, and our equity and STEM program. And before we get started with that, I want to share with you that student inclusion and belonging is part of the Dean of Students office. Dean of Students is here to support students in any way that we can. We've got 8 departments that make up the Dean of Students office, and most of them do some sort of identity support. So support students based on their identities. We've got veterans, military services. Our learning effectiveness program works with students who are neurodivergent. We've got Accessible DU, Student Disability Services, which works with students with disabilities. And then we're going to talk about student inclusion and belonging, which you can see in the maroon slides, of the maroon boxes. So I will save on talking about that. But generally, if you don't know where to start, the Dean of Students is a really great place to start. I'm excited to really introduce student inclusion and belonging, which makes up First at DU, which is our first generation program, the Cultural Center, which works with our BIPOC and LGBTQ plus students, and then social justice education, which is our education arm, educating all students across campus around DEI. With that, I am going to turn it over to our First at DU team. I'm going to introduce Dr. Angie Van Dyke.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. I am thrilled to have an opportunity to speak briefly about some of the work that we're doing at the University of Denver to support and celebrate first-generation students. For a little bit more information about a first-generation student, what is a first-generation student? Here at DU, a first-generation student is any student whose parents or guardians have not earned a bachelor's degree within the United States. And so that may be many of you in the room today. First at DU does a number of different things and support different groups of students. One of the things that we do are a number of regular programs over the course of the year designed to, like I said, support and celebrate students. Those include college success sessions, study halls, and then a number of signature events. We offer etiquette dinner every year. Last week, we had a study abroad talk show for our students who were coming back from having been abroad. So just a lot of exciting ways for students to connect with each other as well as faculty and staff. I'm going to turn the time over really quickly to my colleague, Linda Quintanar, who is on the First at DU team to talk about our cohort programs and some of our college access programs.
Thank you, and hello, everybody. First of all, congratulations on applying or being accepted to DU. Excited to be part of this presentation here with you today. I work and I'm part of the team of First at DU along with Dr. Van Dyke. And we have several cohort programs as part of First at DU that also include scholarship programs, and students participate in programming, signature events, and pre-orientation. It introduces first-generation, first-year students to a community into on-campus resources. Many of the offices that Dr. White mentioned are part of our team. And so we have a team approach when we work with students to be able to support you in the many areas and identities that you have. An important component for us too is mentoring. And so students who are part of the cohorts are paired with a mentor for their first year. And I also want to mention that our team supports DACA and undocumented students and families and all families. So we know that they are part of your journey. And so we're also here to provide support to them along the way. I also want to talk about our pre-college and access program, which is led through the Volunteers in Partnership program. Many of our undergraduate students participate as either volunteers, mentors, and leaders in the DU community or our surrounding local high schools. One of the programs is Summer Link, which is a program for high school juniors. But we also invite high school students to come and shadow and spend the day to visit classes and to experience campus on a more personal basis. So if you're interested, if you're here in Denver, reach out to us and we'll be happy to pair you with a student so that you can have that kind of experience. And if you have questions after today, please reach out or follow us also on social media. We'll give you that information as part of this presentation. And with that, I will hand it back to Dr. Van Dyke. Oh, you're muted.
Can't hear you.
Of course I am. Sorry. I was just saying that on this slide, you're just seeing some of the beautiful faces of the First at DU team. And like Linda said, we are very interested to chat with you and get to know you as you are making decisions about your next steps. So at the end of the presentation, you'll see different ways that you can connect with us, and we certainly encourage you to do so. Thanks, Dr. White.
All right, now we'll turn it over to our Cultural Center team, Eric Duran and Rachel Aragon.
Hello, everybody. My name is Eric Duran, I use he, him pronouns. I am one of the Cultural Center directors, specifically for gender and sexuality student success. So our area focuses on support program, events, programs and resources for students of color and for gender and sexuality diverse students. And so we do this by really focusing on 3 tenets: bridge identities, be engaged, and building connections. So really being able to help with identity development and getting to know perspectives outside of your identities, being engaged in any way that means to you on campus, and then just building connections with your peers. So we do this through leadership opportunities, again, programs and events, and just utilizing us as resources. And so we also support our student affinity group. So if you're part of any student organization that focuses on gender and sexuality and or race and ethnicity, you might also be able to connect with us in that way. And then we also have a couple of lounges and other resources and services, such as a Pride Closet, which is basically a free thrift closet with gender affirming items, as well as 2 lounges that you can kind of just study and connect with other people. So plenty of spaces to really get to know us and really get to know each other. And I'll turn it over to our other Culture Center director to talk about one of our leadership cohorts.
Hi, folks. My name is Rachel Aragon. I use she, her pronouns. We're so excited to have you all here as prospective students or admitted students. And again, just echoing what Eric has shared, we really have some fun cultural and identity-based celebrations and spaces on campus. We want to make sure that this is a campus that celebrates all parts of your identity. And so please let us know if you are on campus. Come in, check in, and see how we can support you. As Eric mentioned, we do have some affinity groups and some cohort opportunities that we wanted to just highlight. One example would be we have a ton of spaces for different identity-based affinity groups. I won't list all of them because there is plenty, but this is anything from the Black Student Alliance, the Latina Student Alliance, the Queer Student Alliance, and so many more other opportunities for you to engage with other students, as well as really cultivate some of those leadership and other skill opportunities that will continue to enrich your time while you're here, but also continue to open doors for you after you're here. One particular cohort we really want to highlight today for you all that might be interested is we support a group called Excelling Leaders Institute, or ELI for short. And really, we just want to highlight a couple of wonderful things about this program. This program really incorporates a series of things, including identity development and reflective spaces for us to really think about our own stories and how those have gotten us to where we're at today. We also really work to hone in and develop leadership skills. So really thinking about the things that can help us become even more strong or effective leaders on this campus and thereafter. And then we also really incorporate a peer mentor program that really helps you connect closely with either students that are in their second, third, or fourth year on campus and are wonderful stewards and guides to helping you navigate not only this campus, the resources available, but also local other events and things that would be of interest or fun for early grads or early first year students. Additionally, we do fund socials. So we have opportunities to go out and have dinner in Denver, as well as fun socials connected to different celebrations, holidays, and events. But also we really want this to be a space where the leaders help to shape the cohort. So we're hoping that you all are interested in connecting with other students, like-minded students, to really help engage and enrich your time here. So, yep, thank you very much. We can go to our last slide. We just wanted to highlight our staff as well. Eric, myself, and our assistant director, Jorge Espinoza, we are all here for you. So if you are on campus, let us know how we can help and support. Thanks.
Now we'll turn it over to our colleague, Anthea Johnson-Rowan, who's going to talk to us about our Equity in STEM program.
Good afternoon. My name is Anthea Johnson-Rowan, and I use she, her, hers pronouns, and I proudly serve as the director for the Equity in Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics program, or ASTEM. We've been on the campus for about 6 years. And if you can advance the next slide, please, Dr. White. I'm excited. We are the only academic program on campus that's really focused on helping the scholars from the STEM fields to be successful academically, which turns into your ability to apply for different internships, research opportunities in the future. So we're a vibrant, diverse STEM community of scholars and friends. The students who participate in our program become very, very close-knit. It starts off with a summer bridge or a pre-orientation program where we also acclimate you and start introducing you to calculus and also to various STEM professionals who identify as historically underrepresented. I think that's a big part of our community is we serve students who are historically underrepresented, although all are welcome. That goal and those missions are fixed. We do have early registration for our scholars because we require them to be in the same calculus, chemistry, and physics classes together. Through the program, you receive help and assistance from peer leaders, from me, from graduate students, helping you navigate not only the University of Denver, but also the STEM fields. If you were looking at that slide before we started, that PowerPoint presentation, and you saw a woman looking into a microscope, that is Riley Harrison, and she's actually one of our eSTEM scholars, and she now is working on her PhD at Brown University, which is kind of exciting. And she did 2 years of research through the Summer Research Initiative program that's also through Equity in STEM. We also, you've heard me mention research, you've heard me mention research and internships, and we really are focused on helping students to develop their develop professionally, helping them to develop a resume. We want to make sure that when they graduate, they are actually getting the job of their dreams and they understand what that means, regardless of whether they're computer science or maybe they're engineering or their biology. I think the other piece of what we do is we really help students to develop their skills academically. I think the other piece that I wanted to share is underneath the eSTEM program, we have 4 affinity groups. We have National Society for Black Engineers, Society for Hispanic Professional Engineers. We have the American Indian Society for Engineering and Science. And we also have SACE, which is a new one. It is the Society for Asians in Science and Engineering. And so these communities also are ways to be able to help you to connect and develop and build your STEM identity. And then I did mention SRI, Summer Research Initiative, which is also a way for you to earn $5,000 over the summer while you're also learning about the STEM career that you might be interested in the future. So I hope you confirm at the University of Denver. We have so much to offer, as you've heard, and please make sure that you're asking questions towards the end, because we want to make sure that we're answering the questions that we can for you. So thank you very much.
Thank you. The last section that we wanted to tell you about is our social justice education, where we provide all students with an opportunity to learn about diversity, equity, and inclusion. We offer workshops and trainings. We do in-person and online. We also have a peer educator program where our peer educators are going out and training other students around diversity, equity, and inclusion, doing workshops as well. We also do consultations, and we have some resources online. And again, this is for all students. This is our team right now, Dr. Christoph Kassoon, who is working in our social justice education area. And then lastly, I'm going to ask folks to turn their cameras back on. And we would love to talk to you all about how do you apply. So we've talked to you about different cohort opportunities. And as you noticed, our cohort opportunities offer an opportunity for coming early to campus for pre-orientation. They also offer an opportunity to have a mentor, to have a peer mentor. And most of our opportunities are similar in terms of the application process, but I think it would be helpful if you all talk about, just briefly, what do folks need to do if they want to be part of First at DU or Eli or eSTEM? So how about I see Anthea first. So can you talk about what do they need to do to be part of eSTEM?
Sure. So once students deposit and you confirm that you're going to be attending University of Denver, we send out an application to students who identify as their majors being STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and we invite you to apply through a portal. And so you'll receive that link, and you usually have about 2 to 2.5 weeks to apply. The turnaround's pretty quick, I should say.
All right, how about
and then
Dr.
from there
Angie?
we make the decisions.
Dr. Angie, how would they be a part of your cohort programs?
So similarly, and we actually work very closely with both Eli and eSTEM in these processes. But after students submit their intention to come to DU for First at DU, because we are first generation focused, we will send a similar invite to all students who have identified as a first generation student at the time of admission.
Thank you. And how about Rachel? How do they become a part of Excelling Leaders Institute?
Yeah, so our cohort has a similar process. So going through the deposit piece and the applications opening up in May, where our core cohort is not based on your major or area of study, and it's not necessarily based on your first generation status. Our group is typically built with a lot of diverse students from many different backgrounds as well. So the cohort is open to everyone, though our goal is to focus on identities and also focus on leadership aspects. So similarly, that goal will stay fixed. We're really looking for students with academic potential, interest in leadership, and really interest in connecting and getting some of that early college navigation support. You will be able to find our applications on our Eli website. And so the Cultural Center will have a link for that Eli website. And then we will be working with the residential life to also share this opportunity with them as well. So you will be able to find out our application on our website as well as some outreach from our office.
And lastly,
Dr. White.
Eric, oh, sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I just had a real quick question about also mentioning our floor, if we have time.
Oh, yes. I will ask Eric if he can share about our Victory program, and then let's talk about the floor.
Yeah, we are also starting a peer mentorship program for LGBTQ plus students, all students and allies, but really with the focus for identity development in terms of gender and sexuality, student success. So it's called Victory. So by the time 2024 fall comes around, it will be here. So if you would like to be a leader in that program, or just be part as a mentor or mentee, let me know.
Thank you. All right, Anthea, what would you like to share about the floor?
I just wanted to let our scholars on the call know that we do have shared floor experiences for our First at DU communities, our Excelling Leaders Institute, and also for our equity and STEM programs. And so it's an opportunity to live with the students who are part of your program as well as others. And so some of the communities are going to be a little bit more mixed, but it's also a chance to kind of expand who you know in your neighborhood and to be a part of different community activities from time to time that's outside of the classroom and might also be outside of some of the programming that we have. So if you're interested and if you apply, once you have been confirmed as being a member of one of the communities, you've been invited to join, you'll receive a confirmation. And on that confirmation, you can indicate whether you want to live on the First at DU, Eli, and eSTEM floor. And so that'll be a chance when you can let us know. Can you be a part of these communities and not live on the floor? Absolutely. You can still be a part of the community and be a part of another living, learning community and still be a part of any one of the cohorts that we mentioned.
Thank you. We also have a gender affirming floor community that Eric supports, and that's part of your housing application if you want to indicate to live on one of those floors. So that is the end of our presentation. We really appreciate you all being here. I think that we can open it up for questions. Happy to answer any questions that folks have. Thank you, team, for being here tonight. I'll turn it over to Shayna.
Great, thanks everyone. And as we wait for any questions that might come into the Q&A, I also wanted to mention that we have a variety of sessions that are happening and are continuing to happen next week as well. So next week, we're going to dive a little bit deeper into study abroad, housing and dining, and then about 20 to 30 different academic majors, units, departments are also offering sessions next week. So back to back to back. So you can really dive deep into some of the academic pieces of the University of Denver. These are all also being recorded. And so you will be able to go back and reference because there's only so many hours in the day and only so many times you can sit in front of Zoom. So it will be able to digest this information at your leisure. And so those will start becoming available in February. the beginning of February. So we'll be reaching out to everyone with our playlist on YouTube so that you can digest this information at your own pace. And I don't see any questions that have come in yet. But just know that you can reach out to any of us at any time. We definitely love to communicate with our current, prospective, past, all the students. That's why we're here. So thank you all so much for your evening and have a great day. Bye.
Thank you.